this is Kelly Farber again with the Derby Rack. Got another yoga session for you. I'm out here on my deck because it's really windy outside, so I moved from the shed. I do have a couple of people that joined me today, my daughter Hannah and her her boss Lacey, and we are social distancing, so no one has to worry about that, but they're gonna do a little bit of yoga with me today. We're gonna start by laying back on our backs and having your arms down at your sides, palms up. Now, if you want to go ahead and start opening up your hips, you can put the bottoms of your feet together and bend your legs kind of in a diamond shape, and go ahead and drop your shoulders down your back, close down your eyes. Be mindful of your breathing, taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just keep that breathing in and out, deep through your nose, in and out. Scan your body from head to toe. If there's an area that's tight, take that deep breath in, and on your exhale, relax that area down. We've got 3 more cycles of breath, taking in all that is good and exhaling everything else out. Getting ourselves ready for practice today. And 1 more cycle of breath in and out. And on this next cycle of breath, as you're inhaling in through your nose, go ahead and straighten out your legs. Open up your eyes, flutter your eyes open, draw your arms overhead for a full body stretch. And with this next cycle of breath, drawing each knee into your chest, giving your legs a big squeeze, making sure you've still got your shoulders grounded into the mat, and you've got your low back also grounded into the mat. Maybe give your knees some circles, maybe go one direction, maybe go the other. And grabbing the back of putting your hands on your on the back of your thighs, giving your legs some kicks. So making sure your feet are flexed and just giving your legs some kicks up and down, warming up your hamstrings. And straightening out your legs, drawing your feet, your toes back towards your shin as you're pushing your heels up towards the ceiling. And maybe pulling your legs just a little bit closer to your upper body so you can feel a little bit more of a stretch. And releasing the back of your thighs, we're going to pulse up towards our feet for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And go ahead and take the soles of your feet down to the mat and cross in a guy's cross, the right leg over the left. And grab the back of your left thigh, making sure both of your feet are flexed. So we're kind of in a number 4 shape. And pull your legs towards your chest for a stretch. And releasing your legs and taking both of your legs over to the left side of your mat. And when the bottom of your right foot hits the floor, lean your legs towards the front of your mat. You should feel the outside of your right hip light up and making sure that your shoulders are grounded into the mat. Bringing both of your legs back up, we're going to go into a lady's cross. So tightly cross that right leg over the left. But this time we're going to lean the legs over towards the right side of the mat, still making sure shoulders are grounded into the mat. And you should feel the outside of your left hip light up. Feel that nice stretch. Bringing both legs back up, let's uncross them, go into a guy's cross, left leg over right. And lifting up the legs, we're going to grab the back of the right thigh as the legs are still crossed, feet are flexed, and pulling both legs towards your chest. And releasing the back of your thigh, leaning the legs now over to the right side of the mat. And when the bottom of your left foot hits the floor, lean your knee towards the front of your mat. And bringing both legs back up, and let's take it into a ladylike cross, so tight cross of the legs with the left over the right, and lean the legs over towards the left side of your mat. And feel the outside of your right hip light up, making sure your shoulders are grounded into the mat. And bringing the legs back up, uncross your legs, and we're going to roll up into a seated position, making sure your shoulders are down your back. And we've got our legs crossed, and we're going to push our heart space towards the front of your mat and walk your arms forward, walk your hands forward, making sure you've got your sit bones. Don't take them down over with you when you're walking forward, taking them out as far as you can take them for a stretch. And then drop your chin down to your chest. You're not caving your chest in or your shoulders in. And now walk your hands over the left knee. Not caving that chest in. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling out over that left knee. Walking your hands back to the center. Leaning over as you're pushing your chest towards, your heart space towards the floor, towards your mat. And now walk your hands over your right knee for a side body stretch, and walk them back to the center, and walk your hands up towards your legs, and taking your chin down to your chest and rolling your head one direction, getting all of your pops and creaks out, and then taking it the other direction. And now we're going to roll over onto all fours. And we're going to take your right leg, straighten it out, toes pointed down towards the floor, and drop your toes down towards the mat, pushing your heel towards the back of your mat for a calf stretch. Now you can stay here, or if you'd like a deeper stretch, go ahead and stack your left foot on top of your right. And drop your left leg down to the mat, lifting up your right leg. We're going into chaturanga push-ups, leaning your shoulders past your wrists, and you're bending your arms back towards your ribs. And when your ribs just touch your elbows, then you come back up for 3, take it back down, back up for 2, back down, back up for 1. Take your both legs down to the mat. Go ahead, one more. Lift up your right leg, and I want 3 big circles. 3, 2, 1. I forgot about that. Go ahead and take your knee down now to the mat, and straighten out your left leg and drop it down, your toes down. Push your heel back towards the back of your mat for calf stretch, and either stay here, or you can stack your right foot on top of your left and drop your right knee down. Lift up your left leg, 3 chaturanga push-ups with the left leg up. Take it down for 3, take it down for 2, back down for 1, and bend that leg, and 3 big circles on the left, opening up our hips. 3, 2, 1. Back to all fours, and we're going to roll our toes under and lift our knees up. We're going to walk our feet in for crow taps. So with the crow taps, I'm walking in as close as I can get towards, and my chest and stomach are touching my towards touching my thighs, the tops of my thighs. So I'm just going to tip up into my tippy toes and taking my knees up into my armpits. So take them up for 5, up for 4, up for 3, up for 2, up for 1, and walk your feet back. And walk your hands forward. Press your hips towards the back of your mat for our first downward facing dog. So in this downward facing dog, our fingers are spread. We press between our thumb and index as we're pushing our hips towards the back of the mat, and we're pressing our heels towards the mat. And go ahead and walk out your dog. Just bending, straightening your legs. And go ahead and settle into the pose, making sure that your legs are hip width apart. And you've dropped your shoulders down, so you've got enough space, head space. You can nod your head or shake it back and forth, pushing your hips back, elongating our spine. And look to the front of your mat, bend your knees, step to the front of your mat. Let's come halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up. Bring your hands together and taking them to heart center. Okay, I'm going to try to do a condensed version here, so I'm going to just do one sun A. So let's sweep our arms up and exhale it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale. Forward fold, step back into plank, and you can always drop to your knees if you need to. So from your knees or from your plank, press your shoulders past your wrists and lower it down as you're brushing your elbows with your ribs down to cobra. So my feet are glued to the mat. My arms are tucked into my ribs. I'm going to inhale, rolling my chest up, shoulders up, head up, long neck though, and now lift up your hands off of the mat. Go ahead and take it back down. Inhale, lift, and lift those hands up and back down. When we lift up, so inhale, lift up using your back muscles, and then lift your hands up off of the mat. Hands back down, head down, roll my toes under, press up onto all fours, and I'm going to sweep my left arm up, and I can also keep my left foot down or lift that left leg up. Looking down is easier, looking up is a little bit harder. And now you can stay here, or you can take your elbow to your knee for 3, for 2, for 1, and we're going to take it back down to all fours, and now sweep up my right arm, and either keep my leg down or lift that leg up. Elbow to knee, 3, 2, 1, back down to all fours. Roll my toes under, push my hips up as I'm pressing my hips towards the back of the mat for another downward facing dog. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees, step to the front of your mat. Let's come halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up, bringing your hands together and taking them to heart center. Okay, we're going to get ready for our sun Bs, which includes a vinyasa. So I've got blocks, and I place my blocks shoulder width apart at the top of my mat. Something I found, if you don't have blocks like I do, I bought my own blocks, but if you don't have them, you can take 2 cans of food and use them as your makeshift blocks. They are the exact same height as the blocks. So you can get 4 cans, use them as blocks, and that's what you'll use for your vinyasa if you choose to take it. So I just wanted to show you that if you didn't have blocks. So I've got my blocks shoulder width apart at the top of my mat, and that's for my vinyasa. That keeps my shoulders safe. So meet me at the top of the mat, big toes to touch, and I will show you a vinyasa. I'm going to do 2 rounds on my knees, and then I'm going to show you another way you can do it. Or if you don't want to go to your knees, if you don't want to try a vinyasa, you can always just push back into downward facing dog. All right, so meet me at the top of the mat, big toes to touch, and we're going to sweep our arms up, and keeping your arms up, we're going to sit back in our chair. So we push our hips back, weights on our heels, my arms are up, my biceps are at my ears, and I'm going to bring my hands behind, lace my fingers, keep my palms together, and open up my chest. and bring my arms now. Release your fingers and bring them forward. Lace your fingers and push your fingers forward as you're arching that area between your shoulder blades. And release it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, step back. I'm dropping down to my knees. I take my shoulders past my wrists and I just tap my shoulders to my blocks. I come up, and you can either stay down on your knees for your up dog or lift your knees up, but make sure that you have a long neck and your shoulders are down your back so you're not getting into your low back. And then I roll my toes under, press back into downward facing dog. So you can choose just to go in down dog. Whatever is good for you and all that your body will allow. Kick your right leg up and bring it to your nose and drop it down, hovering the mat, and lift that leg up using your abs for 3, lift it up for 2, lift it up for 1, kick that right leg up, kick it all the way through, and if your foot does not get at the top of your mat, just lift that leg up and take it up so that it's at the top of your mat. Spin my back leg down, your back leg down, and we're going to bring our arms around for our first Warrior 2. So with this Warrior 2, your front knee stacks over your ankle, and you've got your arms stretched out, you've got your shoulders down your back. You take your hip points and draw your hip points up so you stay out of your low back. And we're going to flip the front palm, stretch up towards the ceiling for this reverse warrior. And drop your right arm down to the thigh, or you can drop your fingertips down to the mat. It's wherever you are with your flexibility. And drop your hands down. We're going to walk around to the side of your mat, drawing your heels in, toes out, and we're going to slowly stand up, stretching your arms up, and we're going to bend our knees. So our knees still track with our second toe, and then drop your arms down, bent, fingers are spread, and we've got a long back. Don't arch that back like you're getting into your low back. You want to still draw those hip points up and stretch up towards the ceiling, and then take it back down for exhale. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale. Back down. One more. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale. Back down. Go ahead and take it back down into forward fold. Walk around to the front of your mat and kick your right leg up. Release it down. Now you can vinyasa between sides. I'm still dropping to my knees. And if my shoulders past my wrists, and just feel I hover my shoulders over as I feel my elbows touching my ribs. I come up to up dog or lift up my knees, roll my toes under, press back, downward facing dog. Kick your left leg up, bring it into your nose, and hover it over the mat. We're going to lift that up 3 times. 3, use those abs. 2, 1, kick that leg up, kick it all the way through, and spin your back leg down. Warrior 2. Now I've got an arch to heel alignment, and my heel is back at an angle from my toes for this back leg. Flip the front palm, stretch up towards the ceiling for reverse, and drop that left arm down to the thigh, or drop those fingertips down to the mat for this side angle. And windmill your arms down, walk around to the other side of your mat. I'm still staying on this side because I didn't want to put my back to the camera. So we've got all 10 toes are pointing the same direction, and we're going to press your heart space towards the mat for like we're in a cow, and then arch that area between your shoulder blades up for cat as we exhale, and take it back down, pressing your heart space towards the mat, and then arching that area between your shoulder blades, and you may arch enough that you can get up on your tippy toes. And back down, heels, pressing your heart space one more time, and arch that area up. Walk around, back to the front of your mat, kick your left leg up, release it down, look to the front of your mat, bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Let's come halfway up. Inhale, flat back, exhale. Forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up. Bring your hands together, taking them to heart center as we sit back in our chair again. Still weights on our heels, and tap your hips. Tap them down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into your vinyasa. I'm going to drop to my knees. This is my last time on my knees. And we're all back, meeting in downward facing dog. Kick your right leg up and take it to your right elbow and hold it for 3, 2, 1. Kick your right leg up, kick it all the way through. Spin that back leg down. We've got one more warrior 2. And straighten out your front leg, flip your front palm, stretch up towards the ceiling. This is a reverse triangle pose. And bend that front knee again, and come down either to that thigh or fingertips down to the mat for this side angle. Now you can keep that arm up or lean that arm towards the front of your mat, pinky finger down, thumb up as my bicep is at my cheekbone for this extended side angle. And go ahead and windmill down, walk around to the front of your mat and kick. Your right leg up, release it down. You can vinyasa between those sides. You don't have to. You can always just push back and meet me in downward facing dog. Kick your left leg up. Bring it to your left elbow and hold it for 3, 2, 1. Kick your leg up, kick it all the way through. And spin that back leg down. Warrior 2. And straighten out the front leg, flip the front palm, stretch up towards the ceiling for this reverse Trikonasana. And bend your front knee, drop your left arm down or drop your fingertips down, side angle. Keep that arm stretched up or drop that bicep down to your upper cheek, pinky finger down, thumb up. Really stretch that side body. And take your hands down, walk back around to the front of your mat and kick that left leg up, release it down. So we're all back in downward facing dog. We've got a little bit of a break, so let's kick that right leg up, bring that into your nose, drop it sideways on the mat, ankle, shin, knee, as you lower the front of your left leg down to the mat, and you're really pointing that left big toe so that you've got a straight line from your sit bone all the way down to your big toe in this pigeon pose. Now, if your hip is tight, because that hip needs to be up, not sagging down towards the mat, you can use your block, or you can also use one of those cans and prop that hip up to get you in the correct position of this pigeon pose. So we're going to take a deep breath in, and on the exhale we're going to come down to our forearms and roll the toes of your left foot under and kick that right leg back, so we're in a forearm plank. And we're just going to, from here, walk your feet in, all the way in as far as you can go, and then walk back. Let's walk back in, walk those legs in, as far in as you can take them, and walk back. And we're going to press back up into downward facing dog. Take your feet, heels in, toes out, and we're going to walk back towards the back of our mat and bend your knees in this Malasana squat, which is a yogi squat. Bringing your arms, you've got your hands together like prayer hands, and putting your arms in between your legs, and you're pressing against the inside of your legs, opening up your hips. Now, you should also be pressing on the outside of your feet so you're not caving in your legs or caving in your arches. So we're in this Malasana, shoulders down our backs, long neck, and release your hands down to the mat. Walk your feet in to the center of your mat, and we're going to go into a rag doll. So we're leaning over, my abs are up against the tops of my thighs, and I'm taking my pinky fingers in my elbow creases,
and leaning over. My chin is at my chest for this nice ragdoll. And drop your hands down to the mat, and we're going to go into those crow taps and go into crow. We did crow last week, and we're going to do 2 more variations of crow after this regular crow pose. So we're going to take into those crow taps for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I'm going to look forward, lean forward. My arms are in those chaturanga arms. I arch that area between my shoulder blades up, so then my feet and my legs are light for crow. And drop your feet down to the mat. Walk back to the front of your mat. And we're pressing our hips back into downward facing dog. So just lengthening out our spine. Let's kick that left leg up. Bring that into your nose. Drop it sideways on the mat. Shin, knee, as we lower the front of our right leg down to the mat. And taking a couple deep breaths in, exhaling out. And we're going to stay on our forearms. Roll the toes of your right foot under and just bring your left leg back. So we're in a forearm plank. So now we're going to go into a baby crow, which is on your forearms. So when we walked our feet in, that's really what we do. We walk our feet in, take our legs in as far in as we can take them. So basically my shin is going to be on the upper part of my tricep area, so the upper part of my arm. So I'm really walking in, I'm on my forearms, I look forward, lean forward, lift up my feet, I'm just barely hovering over the mat for this baby crow. And go ahead and drop your feet down, walk your feet back, so we're back in our forearm plank. Come up onto your hands, press back into downward facing dog, and look to the front of your mat and step to the front of your mat. Let's come halfway up, inhale, flat back, exhale, forward fold, sweep your arms all the way up, bring your hands together, and taking them to heart center, we're going to sit back into one more chair. Take a deep breath in and exhale down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold, step back into your vinyasa. And press back into downward facing dog. And let's kick up your right leg, and we're going to kick it all the way through to the front of your mat. And we're going to keep that back foot, that back heel lifted as we come up for our crescent pose. So our shoulders are down our backs, our fingers are drawn in, and we're pressing against that back heel, and that front knee still tracks with my second toe and is stacked over my ankle. And we're going to go into eagle arms. So take your right arm forward and your left arm out to the side. Bring that left arm underneath the right and bring it around that right arm. So this is our eagle arms, which stretches that area between our shoulder blades. We're going to tap our knee 3 times and go into warrior 3. So tap your left knee down. 3, 2, 1. Bend, push, and lift that back leg. My deck's in the way here. So I'm leaning forward, and I've got my toe pointing towards the floor, and I'm dropping that left hip so my hips are squared. And go ahead and release your arms, drop your hands down, foot down, kick, right leg up, release it down. You can vinyasa between sides. have enough room. And let's kick up your right leg, and we're going to kick it all the way through to the front of your mat. And we're going to keep that back foot, that back heel lifted as we come up for our crescent pose. So our shoulders are down our backs, our fingers are drawn in, and we're pressing against that back heel, and that front knee still tracks with my second toe and is stacked over my ankle. And we're going to go into eagle arms. So take your right arm forward and your left arm out to the side. Bring that left arm underneath the right and bring it around that right arm. So this is our eagle arms, which stretches that area between our shoulder blades. And we're going to tap that right knee 3 times. 3, 2, 1, bend, push, lift. And I'm dropping my right hip down, toes pointing down towards the floor for this warrior 3. Dropping hands down, foot down, and kick. My left leg up, release it down. And we're all back in downward facing dog. So from here, I want you just to walk your hands back, just back one step. And I'm going to drop my right arm down my forearm down to the mat, and I bring my left hand to where it's in line with my elbow. So just bring that back, and it's bent back like I'm in that chaturanga. And I'm going to take that hand back up and drop my left forearm down, and then take my right hand in line with my elbow and take it back up. And we're going to do this 2 more times. So drop that right forearm, left hand back, chaturanga, and back up, and left forearm back, and right hand back. 1 more. Right arm, forearm down, left hand back, back up, down dog, left forearm down, right hand back, and back up, downward facing dog. So we're going to walk our feet in to the center of the mat. And we're going to go into, this is our 3rd crow. It is called Funky Crow. So with our Funky Crow, we're going to use those arms that we just did in that downward facing dog. So I'm going to take one hand, I've got my one arm down, forearm down to the mat. My other arm is in chaturanga arms, and my hand is back in line with my elbow. So I've walked my legs in, and my shin's going to be on my tricep, and it's basically the same thing. My right shin is going to be up on my tricep, but my right arm is going to be chaturanga arm. So I'm going to lean that arm back. I'm down on my forearm. Look forward, lean forward, and lift my feet up. And I'm barely hovering over the mat. So you can try it on the other side, dropping my right arm down. My left arm is up in that chaturanga. And I'm going to look forward, lean forward, lifting my feet up, and back down into Funky Crow. So you can try that a couple of times if you want to try it. You might have one side that's better than the other, and that's okay. That's perfectly normal. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our cool down. So from our cool down, we're just going to roll, we're going to come up, sorry. We're going to come up onto our knees and press back onto our heels. And we're going to bring our arms forward and just arch that area. So lace your fingers and arch that area between your shoulder blades up. And then flip your palms and stretch up towards the ceiling as you're pressing your arms back. And bring them back forward. Roll them back around and arch that area up. And flip your palms and stretch back up. One more time. Bring them forward, arch, between your shoulder blades and flip your palms. Stretch up. And just release your hands. We're going to, one more time, lace your fingers, keep your palms together, and open up your chest. And now, we're going to lay back. We're going to go into happy baby. So we're going to roll back onto our upper bodies on the mat. We're going to lift our legs up, keeping your legs bent. My arms are in between my legs, grabbing the outside of either my shin, my ankle, or the pinky toe side of my foot. And I'm gently pushing against the bottom of my feet, and I'm pressing my knees towards the mat. So you're just opening up those hips that we worked. And releasing your feet, taking your arms overhead for a full body stretch. And pointing your toes, big full body stretch. And relaxing, taking your arms down to your side, palms up. Go ahead and drop your shoulders down your back. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. And start that breathing, slowing your breathing down in and out through your nose. In through your nose, out through your nose. With each breath, fill your lungs up with all of that good, strong energy that we've created today. And exhaling everything else out. Your day, your week, your month. Just exhaling it all out, leaving it behind, bringing ourselves to a better, stronger, kinder version of ourselves. Taking your mind down to one point of focus, just breathing in and out, working towards a 5 count. Deep breath in through your nose and a 5 count. Deep breath out through your nose. Starting at the top of your head, bringing those cycles of breath down your face, relaxing your brow, dropping your tongue from the roof of your mouth, relaxing your jaw, taking that relaxation down your spine, down your neck to your shoulders, taking that relaxation down your arms through your fingertips, and taking it down your spine, down to your hips, letting your hips just sink into the mat, and taking that relaxation, the top of your legs, shooting it down through your knees, your calves, your ankles, feet, and toes. Just taking this time just for you, and just for a moment, just be. Bring your awareness back to the sound of my voice. Begin slowly awakening, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Start awakening your body by rolling your wrists and your ankles. Keeping your eyes closed down and with little energy as possible, drawing your arms over your head, for a full body stretch. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling out. With your next deep breath in, drawing your knees into your chest, giving your legs a big squeeze. If you want to rock side to side or take your knees in circles, you are more than welcome to do that, whatever you're feeling like doing today. Keeping your eyes closed down, rolling over onto your right side, resting your head on your right arm as a pillow, grounding the right side of your body into your mat. We're in the fetal position. It's a new beginning. Taking in all of that good, strong energy. Exhaling out your lungs, leaving everything else behind, just leaving it on the mat. Bringing ourselves to a better version of ourselves. And when you're ready, rolling up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed down, bring your hands in at heart center, taking your chin down to your chest, making sure your shoulders are dropped down your back. Taking another deep breath in. One more exhale out, just exhaling everything, all those stresses, anything that's on your mind, exhaling it out right now. And being thankful today. Thankful for our strong bodies and what they can do for us. And thankful for those that we have around us that make our lives just a little bit better. It has been an honor and a pleasure to lead you through class, and I always like to leave with one word that simply means the light and strength within me always sees and honors the light and strength within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everyone stays well and remembers all of that social distancing. I hope that this helps you just make your day a little bit better, and hope to see you guys again. Thank you. Bye-bye.